was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the Neopets Fairy Festival 2023. If you have not been on it a couple weeks, I'm sad to say that you missed it, but hopefully this video will tell you everything you need to know about what went down during the Fairy Festival this year. But if you are someone who watches these videos but doesn't know anything about Neopets, I am hoping to give you a brief rundown on what the Fairy Festival even is. Hopefully it will be brief. And also, hi, thank you for watching my content even if it doesn't always pertain to you. So the Neopets Fairy Festival is an event that happens on Neopets every year, usually in September, more on that later, where you get daily fairy quests and there's usually some other kind of event going on as well. Some of the dailies have been edited to be free as well, but the main hook of this year's Fairy Festival was that Chidora, the Dark Fairy, and Illusen, the Earth Fairy, are having two competing fairy festivals, and the main drive of these fairy festivals is the charity corner aspect. And I did not play in 2020, so I can't go super in depth on the 2020 charity corner, but TNT promised that this event would be similar-ish to that, where you are able to donate items, just a bunch of junk items, and get points to be able to redeem for hopefully less junky items. Did they actually pull this off? Well, I guess that's up to you to decide. So I have made a list of epic highs and epic lows of the Neopets Fairy Festival for us to look at, and then you can decide if this fairy festival was good or it was bad. We're gonna start with the epic lows because I would like to end this video on a high note personally. And the first thing we need to talk about, remember how I said at the beginning of the video that the fairy festival is usually something that happens in September? Yeah, this one was pushed back 2 weeks until October 2nd and was supposed to be on September 20th, and they pushed it back the day of, like the morning of, hours before the event was supposed to go live. They made an Instagram post that was like, there's a storm over Mystery Island or something, so the festival is going to be postponed. And that's a cute way of like sugarcoating that, but why was it postponed 2 weeks when it was supposed to go live that day? So this charity corner aspect, people have been craving it. They want it so bad. They're like, please let me get rid of all of my junk, because if you play Neopets, you've probably amassed a lot of junk. But the original limit on how many items you could donate to the charity drive was 10 items a day. And if you play Neopets, you know that you get well over like 30 junk items every day just doing the regular dailies. So people were not excited about this. And to top it off, TNT made it so R200s, which are items in the Hidden Tower, which is a very expensive store run by Fiora, the Fairy Queen, and she just sells very, very expensive items there. So for this like charity drive, we're supposed to donate items. The ones that were worth the most were R200s, which are at least 100,000. So much for charity. Another rarity that gave you the most points was R500s, which are Neocash items. You have to spend real life money to get points for digital items. They want you to spend real life money and donate those items that you got, so you can get items that you should just be able to get for free with Neo points. These R200s and R500s, they were worth 15 points in the charity drive, while the next like highest amount of points you can get were from items rarity R98 to R100, and they only gave you 8 points. The Neocash in the 100,000, some of these items in the Hidden Tower are like worth millions as well. Like the cheapest thing is 100,000. Those were worth 15 points. That's a massive point difference, so they were really like, cough up your Neo points or cough up your wallet if you want to participate in this charity drive. Something cool about this event is you get a daily free fairy quest. You don't need to spend your real life hard-earned $1 on a fairy fortune cookie. You just get daily fairy quests throughout the duration of this event. Very cool. However, during the beginning of this event, it was glitched. And if you canceled one of the quests because you couldn't do it or you didn't want to do it for some reason, it would not let you get a quest the next day. This was fixed during the event, but for the first couple days, if you canceled your request, you could not get more quests. So you kind of were cheated out of a couple quests, and I would not be happy if that happened to me. On top of this, the items that the fairies would ask for, the pool of items that they would ask for, was changed and was made into a very small pool of items. And if you play Neopets, you know what happened. Inflation just went yee. It went so high. It was out of control. Like there were sub 100 Neo point items that went up to over 1 million just because the Fountain Fairy would ask for them with this reduced pool of items. It was wild. Thank you, inflators. There were constant changes on how many points each rarity was supposed to be worth, and that led to some people buying up a lot of items that they thought would be worth a lot in the charity drive, but actually turned out to not be worth a lot because they changed it over the weekend, and we'll get more on that later because yes, some innocent Neopians might have been harmed by this, but some scalpers were harmed by that, but we will get into that in the epic highs portion of this video. There's a Free the Fairies NC event during the Fairy Festival, which is fine. You can have an NC event, so you have to pay real money. You'd have to buy a bundle of slingshots so you could like throw a something at a fairy in a bottle and you would get a Neocash item. That itself is fine. I don't mind a little bit of monetization for Neopets, you know? But some Neopians who were buying these bundles so they could get all of the items like throughout the event, they were double charged for it. And they were given 2 like slingshot bundles, but what are you supposed to do with 2 if you can only use 1 per day and the festival does end at some point? Some gracious Neopians actually gave them away to other people, which was really sweet, but I know I would not have been happy if I wanted to buy 1 bundle and it gave me 2. You can make someone's day with it, but what about my wallet, Neopets? I know we care about your wallet, but what about my wallet? The recycling element of this event did not start with the event. It started the following Monday, so the Fairy Festival in general started on the 2nd, but you weren't able to start donating items until the 9th, and the festival goes on until the 18th or the 19th, I believe, so you had like 1 less week to donate items. So that was pretty sad. I don't know why it didn't just launch with the event. Maybe it was just supposed to like be like part of the story, but I found it kind of weird. A lot of people expected the recycling element to launch with the event, so that's kind of an epic low. I briefly touched on this, but the entire point of the charity drive is you offload your garbage and you get points back, and you're able to buy items with those points from like a prize shop. So there's 2 prize shops, one for Illison and one for Jadora, and Illison's has her staff, which is a very decent Battle Dome weapon. It's like worth like what, 600 points in her store. It's a very good Battle Dome weapon. It's very expensive. You can only get it if you like do like 50 of her quests or something. Maybe it's over 50. Her quests get like really hard after some point where you have to like buy her an item and she'll give you something back, and it's a really hard item to obtain, so people are like really excited for the staff. It's also worth a ton of money. In Jadora's prize store, she has her stamp, which is worth a lot of money. To be fair, it's like 50 million Neo points. But why did Illison get her staff in her prize shop but Jadora not get the wand of the Dark Fairy, which is arguably a better Battle Dome weapon? So why wasn't that in her store? We do get this sweet stamp, which I believe will retain its value more than the staff, because if we look at the meter on Neopets that tells you how many people have like backed Illison and who have backed Jadora, it seems like way more people backed Illison, so like everyone is going to have this staff, so who knows how much this staff will actually be worth. But less people supported Jadora, so I believe her stamp is still going to be worth like maybe not 50 million, that might tank a little bit, but you will still make a really good profit off of that if you get that from the store and then sell it. But why didn't she get the wand of the Dark Fairy? I simply do not know. So those are the epic lows of the Neopets Fairy Festival 2023, but what about the epic highs? Well, the fairy quests were limited to the Battle Fairy, the Queen, the Grey Fairy, and the Fountain Fairy, which means you had a way higher chance of getting like the Fountain Fairy than you would get like through doing like the Fairy Fortune cookies. It was like a 1 out of 4 chance instead of like a 1 out of 12 or 1 out of 13 if you have premium. So people have a way higher chance of getting the Fountain Fairy. And if you check out the Neopets subreddit, people are getting a lot of Fountain Fairy quests. TNT did listen and changed the recycling limit to 30 items a day, and they completely removed R200s and R500s from the eligibility pool, so you could not donate those for points. Rarity 90 to Rarity 97 gave you 8 points, and that was the highest amount you could get in Charity Corner without these R200s and R500s just messing up the poll. You're never gonna believe this, but TNT listened again, and they expanded the items that the fairies were asking for their daily fairy quest, which combated inflation in my opinion quite well. There are still some inflated items, but they added a ton more items, so you could actually finish your Fountain Fairy quest for like 100 Neo points instead of 1,000,000. Thank you so much, TNT. Remember how we were talking about originally Hidden Tower items were going to be worth 15 points in the charity drive? There is this one item called the Tombola Squeezy Toy. It's the cheapest item in the Hidden Tower. It's 100,000. Apparently, people were buying these up from like user shops, like people had like bought it or like decided they just like didn't want it, like got from like a random event and were putting it in their shop to like sell them. Apparently scalpers went and bought all of them to try and resell them for like 500,000, a million, whatever, like way higher than you could actually buy them in the Hidden Tower, because they're like, people will want these because of all the charity points you can get off of them. And then TNT said that Rarity 200 items did not qualify, so all of these scalpers were just sitting on a bunch of these like squeezy toys, and that honestly brings me joy, especially because we 100% know one of these scalpers was that guy with 40,000 accounts, and now he just has a whole bunch of those squeezy toys. That is what you get. It is poetic justice. Thank you, TNT. The battleground of the obelisk did happen during the second week of the festival, and the Order won. The Order faction won, and they do give you the option to get your refresh quest request. So anyone who participated in the obelisk had a chance to refresh all of their quests during the second week of the event, and with that higher odd of the Fountain Fairy, you would have even like a higher odd of the Fountain Fairy. This was fun. I really like that this like coincided with the festival. Like it would have been nicer if it happened like a little bit earlier, but I still enjoy that it happened. And I would like to finish up this video with some of my own personal epic highs. So I had a rough start to the Fairy Festival. All of my daily quests were from the Queen, like the Fairy Queen, and she's cool. She gives you like levels and strength and endurance, and that's nice. I have a Battle Dome pet, so that's nice. I got her like 3 times in a row, while everyone else on the Neopets subreddit were getting non-stop Fountain Fairy quests. But my day did come, and I was able to get my Pastel Cow. If you have watched my Neopets videos, you know how much I was dying for this Pastel Cow. I finally have her, and she is so beautiful. And it doesn't stop there. I got 2 more Fountain Dips after this as well. I was able to get my Mariquan Ixie, which was a dream, and I also got an Alien Aisha, and it was so beautiful. I will say that I had to pay inflated prices for my Pastel Cow. I had to spend like 950,000 Neo points, but you know I wanted to paint her pastel, so that was still like millions and millions and millions of a discount, so I'm not too mad about it. But my Mariquan Ixie, I spent like 100 Neo points on dung stairs. Why the Fountain Fairy was asking for stairs made of poop, I don't know, but I got for like 185 Neo points, and I was like, yes. And my Alien Aisha was like a 1000 Neo point item. It was so good. I only want 1 more dip only. I mean, having 3 is like so many. I want 1 more so I can have a Malo Grundo, and then like my dreams will have just come through. Those were my epic highs of the Neopets Fairy Festival. And I mean, I never really thought I was gonna get the Pastel Cow, so honestly it kind of made it worth it for me. But how did you enjoy the Fairy Festival this year? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you get Illison's staff? Did you get your dreamy? Did you get so many Fountain Fairy dips that you ended up giving some away on the Neopets subreddit? Please let me know. And if you are one of the people who watches these videos just to watch them and doesn't care about Neopets, hi, thank you for watching until the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed this look at all of the chaos that happened during the Fairy Festival. Maybe TNT will take notes about what happened during this Fairy Festival and make next year's even better. We could only hope. But thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see me more often, I do stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 5 p.m. EST, so be sure to follow me over there if you would like to just see me more often. And I do have a coffee if you would like to support my content monetarily. I would very much appreciate it. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got all of your Neopets dreamies during this event, and I hope you have a wonderful time zone. I will see you in the next video.